Hello, sir. Good evening. Can you hear me? Sir, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How is my audio? Is it good?
Yes, the audio is good.
All right. Thank you. Um, Good evening, all. Good evening, Amaka, Miss Amaka Faith. Good evening, the anonymous Solomon. Please, if you join us, kindly rename yourself. You can do that by long pressing on the arrow icon after the video icon on your name. You see an option to rename yourself. Please kindly do that. There appears to be some technical glitch that makes anyone that joins using the link to get on our co-founder. Thank you very much as you do that. Mr. Maka Faith, you're highly welcome to the third part of this five-part series of our three anniversary. This is solely organized by the Impact Global Youth Initiative. Okay, Mr. Tim Ebo, thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Tim Ebo, thank you very much for joining. This program is solely organized by the Impact Global Youth Initiative. We are a non-for-profit organization that is based in the Enugu state of Nigeria. We are more very much interested in the terms of education of the African youth and youth empowerment. We have our core four areas of interest, which includes education and literacy, youth empowerment, charity, and and advocacy. Mr. Swag, pardon me if I pronounced that wrongly. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. Thank you. We appreciate. So yesterday, this is the third series, and yesterday we had the amazing Mr. Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa that taught us about thinking global and staying ahead. Yesterday, Mr. Okenwa said so many things. He mentioned name of so many things. He was using his usually published book titled Thinking Global as a template in which he mentioned what the chapter one of the book discussed, which was identity crisis. He talked about chapter two, which is creating the future, where he talked about finding your niche. For you to be able to think global, you have first of all identify yourself, identify what you like and what you don't like, and after that you go ahead to create the future that you want. So he made mention about creating or finding your own niche, because you cannot work on a future that isn't yours. You have to find where you fit in and then develop from there. He also mentioned, hello, I'm getting some audio reception. I'll kindly want us to mute ourselves. Thank you very much. Thank you. So he made mention of the popular saying by Barack Obama that we are the change we seek. So yesterday was a very, very impactful session in this great pre-anniversary series. And today we are going to have another amazing session that will be taken by Ambassador Solomon Okeke to be on effective leadership, as we all have done, because I believe before joining this particular event, we also saw the broadcast. So I'm actually taking some time to wait for other participants to join so that we wouldn't go ahead without them, right? Doing that, I would like to continue my recap of what happened here yesterday. So some of us who joined but not agree with us yesterday, and some might have been with us yesterday. I just wanted to just do a quick recap and refresh our memories of what happened on this particular platform yesterday. Mr. CEO, that is Chukuma Ibrahim Okenwa, reminded us about timing and building relationship, when and how to build relationship, and how to time our conversations and things that we do within a particular relationship as that of make that particular relationship. He talked about emotional intelligence. He reminded us the principle of effective communication, which he termed respect. He said that for effective communication to occur, the two people involved in that particular communication should be able to hold some amount of respect for each other in order to have, communicate effectively. So Mr. Ephraim Okenwa also took some questions. So yesterday, particularly I myself sorry, pardon my mistake. I forgot to introduce myself. But I moderated the session yesterday, and I introduced myself yesterday, but today is moving, so I guess I should do that again. So my name is Omema Dabuchi Ifani. I'm the Director of Education for the Party Global Youth Initiative. I'll be your host, our moderator for tonight. So there you have it. I asked him yesterday particularly about how to navigate the paradox that exists within thinking global and acting local. Because, at times, some things that are global standards aren't just attainable in our own society because of some certain things. It could be because of our own particular climate. It could be because of the social culture that exists. So I asked him as entrepreneurs how we can, think global or acting to, how we can think global and then act locally in a very thoughtful manner. I use the example of how Nigeria has one of the biggest coal deposits in the whole wide world. And earlier on, we abandoned the use of coal in generation of electricity and jump into renewable energy. And we all know how and where that has gotten us today. I mean, like so many areas in Nigeria still, have electricity haven't reached them. And we have countries like the UK, that is actually one of the world powers, still have more than 50% of their power generation is still by fossil fuel burning and coal mines. Like the UK till date still uses coal to generate electricity. In fact, according to a research by Energy UK, is just about 26.5% of UK's energy is generated via renewable energy. So how has this thinking global thing, that is, you mean like if today you are thinking global about energy, you know that the energy arm is tilted towards renewable sources of energy. So we thought global and we abandoned the coal mines that we have that could have comfortably given us the capacity or the number of electricity and distribution that we need to, have steady power supply in Nigeria, and then went for something that is small, global, and it hasn't been serving us well. So, Mr. C, Mr. CEO, please, Miss Amaka Faith, can you yourself? Thank you very much. Mr. CEO did an amazing job in clarifying how, when thinking global, you shouldn't ignore the things and the resources around you, because you have to act where you are with what you have, right? So, and it is just minutes past 8. We'll be jumping in briefly. And before that, uh, before we jump in, because I have to get a signal from our guest speaker before I invite our guest speaker to take the floor. Those joining us right now, I can see Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you very much for being here. The anonymous Solomon Okeke, thank you very much for being here also. Um, you can rename yourself if you are the anonymous Solomon Okeke by long pressing the R key that is just right beside the mic icon on your name. Long press it, you will see an option to rename yourself, and you can rename yourself. Thank you very much. Let's do that. Mike, can you remind us that impact field is
Thank God na Florence what the woman you want here.
hello. Sorry about that. Can you remind us that Impact Field is having a program on the 24th of July this year at the exclusive Serenity Hotel. That will be the Leadership Rebirth Conference. It was an annual conference that's organized by the Impact Field Global Youth Initiative, where we gather young people and well, other people as well. And we have talks and seminars on leadership. So in attendance this year, we're going to have likes of Larissa Joy Obunaya will be there, Pastor Sam Ihanacho will be there, Mr. Wilfred Okeke will also be there, Ms. Buche Nome, Barrister Anne Nozier, Honorable Monday Diamond, Pastor ABM Obina will also be there. These are prominent people in the field of leadership in our state. And they are going to be at exclusive Serene Hotel. It's going to come up on 24th of July, being a Saturday, by 9 a.m. So I implore every one of us here today, tonight, to create time that particular day and come and join us as we have a wonderful conversation on leadership. If you're in Nigeria today, or if you're even outside Nigeria, but you're in Nigeria, you know how dire good and effective leadership is, the need of it is in Nigeria. I can see that our guest speaker is set. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, I see our guest speaker is position. So today we are going to be having talk on effective leadership. I will be diving into that video. I don't think that my boss, Ambassador Solomon Okeke, needs much introduction. I don't think he needs much introduction. I believe everyone in this platform here tonight already know about the amazing Okeke twin. One of whom is Ambassador Solomon Okeke. He is the co-founder of Impact Global Youth Initiative. He is the host of the Leadership Debate Conference. And man, I could go on and read all I have here tonight, but I believe we all are going that someday. And if you haven't met him physically, you must have met his work on Facebook. So without further ado, I want to welcome Ambassador Solomon Okeke to the floor. Thank you, sir. You have the floor and can unmute yourself. Hello, sir. Your mic is still not unmuted.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
it is right now. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. I am so excited having you on board tonight. We're going to have a very brief section, but very, very impactful, I must tell you. Impact Field Global Youth Initiative is 5 years this month. And exactly on the 12th of this month, that should be on Monday, we are going to be clocking 5 years. It's 5 years of amazing grace, 5 years of impact, 5 years of being a blessing to humanity and challenging the status quo. 5 years of showing the world that there is a different breed of people who are coming up and who are taking their world by storm, who are taking their space by storm, and who are challenging the status quo. I'm excited, particularly being a part of Impact with Global Youth Initiative. I am so excited. And I want to say thank you to you for being a part of the initiative, for being a part of what is happening at the Impact with Global Youth Initiatives. Okay, this week we've started, actually today is the 3rd edition of this series, the pre-anniversary webinars. And on Monday we had, 2 days ago we had Amarachi Atama, yesterday we had CEO. Today we are going to be discussing about something that is so special and very, very important. Although a lot of young people neglect it, a lot of young people think it's of no importance, a lot of young people think, what are we, let's just talk about money. All right, in as much as money is important, I must tell you that leadership is also important, because leadership is all encompassing, right from your personal leadership, which will even help you to develop amazing habits, good and positive habits that will help you to even make the money too. Okay, and it's really encompassing. Okay, but today we are going to be talking about the hallmark of effective leadership. The hallmark of effective leadership. Actually, I would love to give you an expo. I will be teaching from a book which I am co-authoring, and by God's grace, before the end of August, it should be in print. Okay, the hallmark of leadership. You know, a lot of people think that leadership, it's maybe when you have the position, when you have the authority, the power to, to direct people, to instruct people, to tell them to do something, and they must do it because they don't have alternatives. They don't have any option to do that. Anyway, that could be a part of leadership, but leadership in its essence, in earnest, is not when you have power and you have authority, and then people can do what you've instructed them to do, not because they want to do it, but because you are the one who is telling them to do it. And probably there is a sanction to disobedience. All right, yeah. To me, leadership, it's a different thing altogether. Okay, usually if you've heard me speak about leadership, and if I have the opportunity to define leadership, I usually say that there are so many definitions of leadership, but one of them that captures my attention, and I think I love it, is the one that John Maxwell gave about leadership. He says that about who a leader is. He says that a leader is a person who knows the way, who goes the way, and then who shows the way. To me, this particular definition of leader, who a leader is, actually makes sense, because to be a leader, you must first of all know the way. All right, you must first of all know the way. That is to say that there is a place for knowledge. Look at, for an instance, you cannot lead someone who you do not know better than. Yes, especially in an aspect. Of course, you cannot know more than someone in every area of life, no. But for you to be leading someone in an aspect or in an area of life, it means you know better than that person. That is to say that as a leader, there is a significance of knowledge. Knowledge plays a vital role in leadership. If you don't know, people will not follow you. If you don't know more than them, there is nothing they want to learn from you. And you're a leader when you have influence over people. And that influence is basically, a large chunk of the influence you have over people is basically when people understand that there is something you know, that there is something you have that they want to have, or that they want to learn, or they want to know. So a leader must know the way. Now, when we talk about knowledge, I always talk about knowledge in different aspects, because when we talk about knowing the way, some people will think like, oh, knowing, okay, I should go and start reading books, I should start doing a lot of things. There are so many things you need to know. All right. I don't mean to sound religious, but we cannot remove these aspects. We cannot remove spirituality from what we are doing. A leader must be a person who knows God. Whatever religion you are does not really matter to me at this point. But me, I am a Christian, and then I understand the importance and the significance of my relationship with God. So if you must lead, you must know God. Now, a leader is a person who knows himself. Okay, because self-awareness, it's a very important tool in leading. If you don't know who you are, people will not follow you, because you're going to be influencing them, but you don't even understand what you are doing. People are going to be attracted to you. People are going to come to you, come for you to help them, but you don't even know that there is something I am doing, there is someone I am, or there is someone I am becoming that these people are seeing. So there is a place for self-awareness. There is a place for discovery of purpose. In my book, 25 Top Secrets for Every Youth, published in the year 2018, I talked about the 3 Ds of discovery, of personal purpose discovery. I said that your discovery of yourself determines your destination. All right, it determines your delivery, and it determines the value you add to yourself and the value you add to other people. So a leader must, as a matter of urgency, know himself. There is need for self-awareness. I said there is need for self-awareness. I would love this class to be interactive in the sense that if there is any aha moments, any points that touches you that you would want to share with us, just put it in the comment section. I'll be so glad to see them. I'll take out time to read all of them. And then if you have a question, please hold your question for now, because I may not see them now. If it drops on the comment section and other people are commenting, it may go up. Just hold it. When the time comes, I am going to give you the opportunity to ask your questions. So as I was saying, a leader must know God, a leader must know himself. Spirituality is important, and then self-awareness is important. Now, a leader must also know people. At the Leadership Rebirth Conference this year, we are going to be having a section on building your social capital. Building your social capital. You see, if you don't know people, I usually tell people, I had the opportunity to speak to some people, some young guys in a fellowship setting sometime last month or last 2 months. I told them there are doors that you will come to that door, you keep knocking and knocking and knocking, and then you keep shouting, in the name of Jesus, door be opened. In the name of Jesus, door be opened. And it will not open. But that same door, you mention a name of a man that is alive and it will open. Why? Because there are things that God cannot do without men. The earth is framed in a way that most of the things that are happening here happen with the permission of men. So if you're a leader, you must be intentional about your social capital. You must be intentional about the people you know. You must be intentional about the people who knows you. I think it's important to even note that a lot of people know everybody, but nobody knows them. That is not an effective social capital. Nobody knows you. Then you're just moving around making noise. If you cannot pick up your phone and call people to assist you do something when there is need for that, then you don't know anybody. Okay, if you cannot, get in touch with people when you need something to be done. Somebody has a need of 5,000 naira, and then he doesn't know anybody to give him that 5,000. He doesn't even know 5 people that will contribute 1,000 and give to him, or even if it is to borrow. To borrow, he doesn't know because he doesn't have a social capital. I think we're going to elaborate it at the Leadership Prepared Conference. Social capital is very important. You need to build it, build relationship. And one of the ways to build relationship is by service. CEO rightly said yesterday that the best way to be useful is to be used. A lot of young people do not want to be used because they think, oh, this person is using me to achieve his goals. Now, how do you want your own goals to be achieved if you're not helping another person achieve goals? I remember in 2017, when after my high school, I had to work. I worked for 1 year before I got admission to school. Someone's mic is on. Please kindly mute it so you wouldn't be interrupting. So I got an employment. My boss gave me the same person who paid for my registration. He gave me scholarship, gave me an employment. And for 1 year, I worked there. I worked earnestly. I am Gideon and I are the only people he can trust. Even up to now, there are some confidential office matters that he cannot take to any other person. He will always bring it to us, even while we've resigned, 3 years, 4 years after we've resigned, he will always bring it to us because he trusts us. He knows that whatever he gives us to do and is confidential will never leave us. All right, so you have to serve, be willing to serve. Okay, so back to who a leader must know.
Sorry, sir. Please, Mr. Oja, can you mute yourself? All right. Thank you.
Back to who a leader must know. You must know God. I've said it. You must know yourself. You must know people. Then you must be knowledgeable about your field. You must be knowledgeable about your field. It's very important because a lot of people think that they can just lead anyhow, do anything anyhow. And then when some little matters about the field which you belong to, or which you're parading yourself as a leader, or which you already have influence, or even a field you have a position in comes up, questions that ordinarily you should know, you don't know it. And then you're parading yourself, especially people who does that a lot are people who are already in position and they feel like, oh, I am now the boss. You have to upgrade yourself all the time. If you want to remain relevant, if you want to remain impactful, you want to still have influence and keep blessing people's life, you have to keep upgrading yourself. You have to. If you're not up to date, that simply means you're outdated. And anybody who is outdated, what happens is that the people who you have influence over will leave you and find someone who knows better than you. It even happens in mentorship. Sometimes some people will leave their mentor to go and look for another mentor because they feel like, oh, this person, I now know better than him. So what do you do as a person who is leading? You have to keep upgrading, keep upgrading. That's your flavor. I'm going to talk about your flavor very soon. It's very, very important. So you have to know things in your field. How do you gather knowledge? Knowledge, you can get knowledge from everywhere. Already we are in a global village. Like I'm transmitting from the comfort of my room and someone in Washington, D.C. I want to celebrate you, sir, Dr. Tim Ebo, for joining us, Washington, D.C. And of course, let me also announce to you that we're going to be having his section on Sunday. Okay, don't miss it. And someone in Abuja, people in different places are watching because this is a global village. And this phone you have has a lot of information on it. A lot. But the issue is that a lot of young people do not want to maximize the internet. They just want to do anything, go to Facebook, go to WhatsApp, go to Instagram, go to TikTok. I saw one of my classmates, she was, we were discussing, and then a guy brought up about TikTok. She was like, hey, let me show you my TikTok channel. And then she opened the channel, and you know what she was doing? All the time she would do video, and then video where she's dancing, I think they call it twerking, a bit twerking, where she's twerking and put on TikTok. Okay, but there are things that are better than wasting your time, wasting your data. Of course, some people do that to build followership. But what I'm driving at is that the internet is a very huge resource for knowledge. You can acquire knowledge in trainings, you can go to conferences, and usually I advise everybody that follows me, you must not always attend free things, free trainings. If it's a WhatsApp class and it's free, bam, you see yourself there. And what happens is that you won't even pay attention. You won't even maximize what is being done there because it's free and you don't value it. Someone once said that people who pay attention, form the habit of paying. One of the things I told myself is that, you see, I have a way that I can, use to get some of the books, some of my mentors and the people I respect, right, without paying. Like, I serve them, and they are most of the time they are willing to gift me with their books. But what I do is I have to pay for it. I have to. Some of the times I don't need to ask them, how is it going? Should I pay or should I? In fact, that's not it. Should I pay or should I not pay? Then because they will not allow you to pay. What I do is sometimes they put out the account details on social media and say pre-order has started. Pay. I will go and pay. All right. A lot of people just want to do free things. And you think you're going to grow by doing free things, getting free things, free trainings, free books. A young lady was asking me some time ago, hey, man of God, she loves to call me man of God. Hey, man of God. She saw me holding some copies of my books. I said, please dash me now. I said, dash you. Now, that does not mean I don't give people my books. That does not mean I don't dash books. I can, in fact, we donate books. We've distributed free of charge over 2,000 copies of our book. Like this year, sponsored by a company. So what we do is giving free books. Most of the time, at the Enugu Reader Summit this year, we shared more than 500 books to students in attendance. But you see, if you need something, you have to buy it. You have to pay for it, because some of the times you're giving something free and you think that, this is it. Then you just go and keep it. You will not make use of it because you feel like this is free. So how do I stress myself, trying to get something from something that is free? You need to pay. So start conditioning your mind. And that's one of the things I do with some of my mentees. Some of my mentees, yes, sir, please, I want to do this. Yeah, that's fine. You have to pay for it. And that is it. You have to pay. Even if it is me that is doing it for you and I can do it within 2 seconds, you have to pay, because if you go to another person, you will also pay. So if you want to gain knowledge as a leader, be willing to pay. If you can't get it free, pay. And don't make too much effort, putting all your energy so that you get it free of charge. Pay, because you also buy mineral, you also buy shawarma, you also do pay for knowledge. Pay for knowledge. A lot of young people and a lot of leaders can, spend a whole lot of money on entertainment. They go to the cinema, they pay. They want to download movies, they pay. They watch football, they play. Some even they pay. They do a lot of things. They pay. But when it comes to knowledge, they don't want to pay. I don't want to believe that you're in that category. And please, if you're there, please start pushing yourself out. Swiftly push yourself out of that place. All right? It's very important. Okay, now it's inexhaustible anyway, a lot of things to say, but I have to be as fast as possible. I've talked about the first part of the definition that John Maxwell gave. And he said, a leader is someone who knows the way. Now, on the second, he says, he knows the way. That's first. Then second, he goes the way. You cannot be telling people to do something and you're not doing it. Like I've given you a lot of examples, a lot of instances now of things that I've done and things I am doing. You cannot be preaching something. It's hypocrisy to be preaching something that you're not doing. Like you're deceiving people. Okay, so as a leader, you must be willing, whatever you tell people, whatever you put out on your social media walls, make sure that you're doing it. So one of my friends will say, sometimes I say things I don't do, but once I say it, I will start doing it because I know I've committed myself. Whatever you are saying, whatever you are advising people to do, whatever you are, some people have these pretentious moves. If they have a way of making themselves look like what they are not. They want people to perceive them as someone who has integrity, but they don't have integrity. That is building reputation. That is building reputation. Building reputation, but it's more important that you focus on your character, because even if you build your reputation and then after everything now, your character finds a way, must always find a way of showing itself. So a leader must be willing to go the way. Once you've known something, start putting it into practice. Something that will benefit you and benefit others, start practicing, start doing them. It must not, you're not going to grow overnight, that's agreed. You're not going to become that big person overnight. Yes, we agree. But if you don't start acting, then you will not actually get the desired results. I hope I'm communicating. If you're here and then you're getting what I'm saying, I want you to put it on the comment section. Say that you're following, please. I can see a lot of people are here now. I want you to comment that you're following. Okay. Now, the third aspect of it is that a leader must be willing to show the way. A leader must be willing to show the way. Like a lot of people think that if they teach someone what they have, then it leaves them. If they show someone a way to do something, then that person becomes bigger than them. So there is this tendency for people to hoard what they have. They hoard it. They hoard it. They hoard it. Everything they have, they hoard it because they don't want someone to learn from them. Then that person improves on what they have learned from them and then goes out to do better. That is what I call insecurity. I call it insecurity, and it's a very, very, should I say demonic? It's a demonic infection. Insecurity has killed a lot of leaders. That's why they're not raising leaders. They're not raising people who are going to succeed them. And let me inform you that success that doesn't have a successor is failure. Failure that is wrapped in a shining cloth. Failure in disguise. You're successful, but there is nobody to follow after you. What Gideon and I are doing at Impact Field Global Youth Initiative is that we are training leaders. And sometimes it requires that we have to be hard on them. Because we want to be sure that if there's anything that will happen and then we are not around to handle the activities of Impact Field, possibly in Nigeria, maybe somewhere God takes us higher, because of course he has promised to take us higher. And then we are out of this nation. Will Impact Field die in Nigeria? That's why we are raising leaders. So you must be willing to mentor people. You must be willing to teach people. And there is something a friend of mine said, and I caught it. I love it. He says that shareability brings about visibility. Shareability, when you are sharing, you're becoming more visible. All right? If you check it, one of the reasons why Impact Field is visible, is more visible and is becoming visible and visible because they are sharing knowledge, sharing skills, sharing trainings, and people are not paying for it. We are sharing. And when they will start paying for it, it's coming, they will pay. People will pay for Impact Field programs. I think it's an announcement now, all right? Yeah, shareability. So if you know something and you're doing it and it's helping you, why don't you help that person who is following you? That person who calls you mentor, that person who may not even call you mentor, but sees you as his friend. Why don't you share? Why don't you do that? It's very, very, very important. Now, I am talking about, let me talk about service-based leadership, or how do I put it? Selflessness in leadership. There is a story that was told in the Bible. Salome, who is the mother of John, James and John, and then she came to Jesus and said, "Oh, Father, Lord," you know, all these sweet names that some of them will call. She's the wife of Zebedee. And then she came with her sons and said, grant me this request, you know, that sweet tone. Grant me this request that my son, one of my children will now be in your right hand, another person will now be in your left hand, and all that. And Jesus said to her that this is a request that I am not the one to determine who is going to be at my right or my left. But there is something that happened that I am actually, I thought about. You know, when the disciples, the other 10 saw what happened, they said, what is happening? Like they almost felt annoyed. What are you doing? But Jesus brought to them and said, said to them, he said, anyone among you that wants to be the head, anyone among you who wants to, you know, become the leader must be willing to serve. So leadership, it's service. You know, one of the problems we have in the political sector is that, especially in Nigeria, Nigeria's political sector and then the leadership, the positional leadership in the country is done by, it is our turn. Orutego turn 9, aqua turn 9 bifa. Turn 9, you know, in Watago, just like in Enugu now. I'm from Kano actually. In Enugu now, it's in Kano. In Enugu now, it's in Kano. There's a zoning is coming to Kano. So now it's our turn, but why don't you dig deep and find someone who is competent enough to lead you? You just turn. So let's go and do our 4 years and then siphon the money. Let's go and do our 8 years. And it's our turn, so we must do them. So anybody, whether it's a crook or a cultist or anything, they carry the person and put there because they want to, you know, exercise that authority. They want to, you know, be in power. It's our turn. So Jesus said, you must be willing to lead. You must be willing to serve. And Jesus showed that example. He showed it when he was washing the feet of his disciples. And one of them said, no, master, I'm not going to allow you wash. He said, this is a teaching. I'm training you because you're going to do this later. You will do this later. You will do it. Okay. So we look at the Bible because I told you I'm not going to separate the scriptures and spirituality from this section. We look at the Bible, we saw Moses. Moses was serving when he met his burning bush. It was service. He was serving Jethro, and I'm sure it was Jethro's sheep and cattle that he was rearing in the bush when he met the burning bush. His place of encounter was in his place of service. A lot of people, young people, don't want to serve. You are called into ministry, so you want to rush out and become a pastor. You don't want to serve. you are called into, you know that you have this enthusiasm for NGO works. You don't want to do NGO, you don't want to serve anybody, you rush out and get your own. You know that you want to start a business. You don't want to serve anybody or understudy anybody. You rush out and start your own. You rush out and do everything. Nobody wants to serve. And this is a very deadly disease. It's a very deadly disease. You don't want to serve anybody. You just want to become the boss. So everybody in our world now is MDE, MD CEO. Or they will now even put it GMD. Director this, director that, comrade. You know, in Enugu, there are comrades. And I usually tell myself, I say that, nah, comrade Enugu is what I don't know. Enugu comrade, Kirikiri comrade 130. Everybody is comrade. Everybody wants to be comrade. You must be willing to serve. Joseph, in the scriptures also, he was in the bush. Like his father did not even know that this one that is in the bush, it's the one that has that kingly anointing. But he was in the bush. He was serving. And let me tell you, your miracle will never elude you, even in your place of service. You can never be serving and then something good comes to you, and because you are in your place of service, that thing will not get to you. It's not possible. It's not possible because Joseph was there, and they have sampled all his brothers. They have sampled everybody, all his brothers. They forgot him. They sampled everybody. From the first to the last, he was in the bush. Well, you know what Samuel said? We are not going to sit down until that boy comes from the bush. I don't know if you're getting the scenario now. He was in the bush. And it was also service that brought him when he killed Goliath. His father sent him to go and deliver food to his brothers who were at the war front. It was service. I didn't mean he said that. Do you know? And already he has been anointed. So do you know me? The anointed one that you're sending to carry food to go. Some people are so arrogant. Okay, it was okay. Yeah. It's David, not Joseph, right? It's David. I just got it because I was saying Joseph since. It's David, the anointed one that you're sending to go and do what? Some people become so arrogant once they see a light, just a grimace of breakthrough and success. It's bad. Let me share with you three. Okay, Mr. Madabuchi, yes, I'm seeing your timing. Thank you. Excuse me. 3 service points of a great leader. Number 1 is that great leaders lead with their contributions, not positions. Great leaders lead with their contributions, not position. A story was told of trees in the kingdom of trees, you know. The trees said, we want a leader who is going to lead us. Someone who is going to become our leader. Just like in the Bible, the Israelites, when they said they were fed up with Samuel and his leadership and what he was doing. So they now went to Samuel and said, tell the Lord to give us a king, a king just like other nations. So the trees did a meeting and said, we are going to have a leader. We need to have a leader that is going to lead us. So they went, the first point of call was, they went to the olive tree and said, we want you to come and lead us, to come and be our leader. The olive tree said, should I cease from giving my oil, olive oil, and then come and, should I cease from giving my oil with which they honor God and men and go to square around trees? Okay, they felt disappointed. Which one is this? We are telling you, we are giving you a position, and then you're now talking about oil. It's contribution, not position, that makes you a leader. And then the second point of call was to the fig tree. The fig tree said, no, I am comfortable with giving my wine I am comfortable with giving my wine because, is it fig tree or vine? I think it's vine. I am comfortable. So allow me. This is my way of contribution. So they went to the last point of call was to the bramble. I had to check what bramble is. It looks like it's almost a dwarf, leafy, something. It's not like a tree, a giant tree. And then the bramble said, if you want me to be your leader, then you will have to, as tall as all of you are, come under my shade. So they have to reduce themselves to come under the shade of the bramble because they want him to lead. That's what a lot of people think, that if I am going to lead you, then no matter how influential you are, no matter what you've achieved in life, you must come under, like so under. No, not under in a way of honoring, but under in a way of making sure that it is that person who you call who it's known as the leader that is seen higher than everybody. That is not it. That is not it. And then the bramble said, or else I will now call fire to come and devour. Leaders, great leaders, lead with their contribution and not their position. Please, Mada Buchi, I want to beg for more time. Please, just
I remember this more, sir.
Just give me like 5 to 8 minutes.
You have 7.
Huh?
Thank you. You have 7, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Let me be sure. Okay, 7 minutes. Okay, that's right. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about, which is the service point of great leaders, is that great leaders lead with their flavor. Did you get that? If you got that, please put in the comments section. Put in the comment section. Number 1 is that great leaders lead with their contribution and not their position. Number 2 is that great leaders lead with their flavor. They serve humanity with what they have in them. And of course, you know that the salt, it's one ingredient that flavors your soup, flavors your stew, flavors your food. But when that salt loses its flavor, then casala don't burst. This your flavor could come in form of your personality, the person who you are. It could come in form of your abilities, your capabilities, your skills, your passion. What is it? Find out what your flavor is. And that is exactly what attracts people to you. Find it out and start harnessing it and start leading with it. Number 3, great leaders lead with humility. Very essential. I've talked about arrogance and I want to point it out again. A lot of young leaders are so arrogant and they want to call it packaging. They want to, say, I don't know where they learned all those things from anyway. They've not gone anywhere. They've not done anything. Maybe they just learned that they can put their picture on graphics and post it online, and then they will now go to studio and snap one studio picture like that, and then they will look all catchy, and they put graphics on it, put it on graphics and look beautiful, and they post it everywhere. And then when you approach them, you see arrogance that comes out from them. It's oozing. Oh my goodness, arrogance, smelly. I don't know if you've come to understand that arrogance is not attractive. Humility is attractive. Humility is more attractive. Arrogance is unattractive. And when I learned that, I ran away from it. I've seen people who were from where they were brought to nothing because of arrogance. Pride. Oh, go and meet my PA. Meet my PA. And I'm wondering, like, normal discussion I can have with you, you're referring me to your PA. Now, I'm not saying that administrative leadership and, putting in systems and structures is not good, but there is always a limit. There is always a limit to things. Okay, arrogance has killed a lot of people. I've seen people who have traveled around the world, but you see their level of humility. That's one of the things that attracts me to people. And that's because that's a habit or a culture, that's a skill, that's something I want to have. That's something I want to have as a young person. Humility, of course, I know I have a lot of it. I have a percentage of it already, but let it increase because God is taking me to a higher dimension. And if I don't keep being humble, oh my goodness, something is going to spoil. Okay, so qualities of servant leaders. I've talked about you being self-aware. I've talked about you knowing yourself. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is that, I think I have 2 more minutes, is that one of the qualities of a servant leader is sacrifices. I don't want to tell you how much we put into some of the things we do, some of which are personal funds. My team members at Impact Field know that if we are honoring anybody who has been a part of us and who has helped us in any way in Impact Field, you must contribute money. Some of the times, or most of the times, we make it a free will donation, something that, but there is need because we are trying to build a culture of being sacrificial, even in your giving in them. There are a lot of things I do sacrificially. And sacrifices are not just monetary. It's important you note it. Sacrifices are not just money. Sometimes you just have to sacrifice your time. And I want to say thank you to you, Ome Madabuchi, for sacrificing your time today, for being here. He was supposed to be in a night class. But I told him nobody is going to anchor this section today, if not you, because Gideon is not available and some other people are not available. Of course, Gideon is available, but we cannot be in the same house and he's anchoring and then I'm speaking, all right? It's important. I told him, he said, okay, it's important. You must be sacrificial. A servant leader must be available. Available. You must be available. You must be accessible, especially to those who you are called to serve. A servant leader must love and be compassionate. I want to refer you to, because my time is up already, I want to refer you to my YouTube channel. Just type Solomon Okeke on YouTube. You will see it. I did a series on 4 kinds of love that transforms the world. Check it among the videos. So that will serve for this point. A servant leader loves and is compassionate. A servant leader must be secure. I've talked about insecurity. It kills. When you see that people who you are leading are succeeding more than you, it's not a cause for an alarm. You shouldn't be so annoyed that people who maybe they called you a mentor, or people you are mentoring them, they are coming to seek advice, and then you're giving them advice, and then they are now succeeding in quotes more than you. Like maybe their visibility is more than you. Maybe they're making more money already, more than you, and then you now become annoyed. Maybe some people are serving you, and then one thing happened, and then they got a contact from you that changed their life. You don't become angry. It's evil. I have someone who has done that to me, and then my goodness, let me not talk about it now because I have so many videos, live videos I will talk about those things. Now, a servant leader must also be courageous. Courage is important. Courage is important. A servant leader must be excellent. You see, the kind of lightning is not really so, the lightning I have here is not really so big, like, because I'm also planning to get a ring light very soon. But you just don't need to know how much I spent today getting this lightning, because it's important. Excellence is key, but I want to also tell you that excellence is not cheap. When we are planning for Enugu Leader Summit, this must be done, this must be done, this must be done, because we want to maintain a level of excellence. And one of those days I said to Gideon, excellence is not cheap. And a lot of people were commending us, well organized, the organization was perfect, the excellence. A lot of people were saying a lot of beautiful things about that program, but you don't just need to know the stress, the sleepless night, the money it also took. But let me also tell you that excellence is relative, meaning that whatever resource you have at every point in time, you can achieve excellence with it. Now, the level of excellence 1 million naira can achieve is not the level of excellence 100,000 naira can achieve, but ensure that you make maximum use of the resources you have and get the best result you can use it to get. That is excellence. Now, a servant leader must be humble. I want to say thank you for joining, and I will have to take your question. I overshot the 7 minutes you gave me with 3 minutes, and I'm sorry about that. At this point, over to you, Mr. Madu Abuchi. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Solomon, for that wonderful session. I mean, you talked about a lot of things. You gave a lot of buzzwords, as some people say. You know, like I learned things like people who pay attention. If you are not up to date, then you are dated. Like I learned a lot of things. Thank you very much tonight. We're going to take questions. If you have questions, as we are doing that, I want to appreciate those that joined us while this conversation was going on. Miss Colette, you're welcome. Mr. Bechi, you're welcome. Mr. Wilfred, you're very much welcome. So, please, if you have any question and you feel that your audio reception will waste our time, kindly type it in the chat box. If not, raise your hand and I will call on you. Mr. Solomon Okeke talked about a lot of things today. He talked about insecurity from the part of people who from the part of mentors and leadership. He talked about how insecurity could lead to a failure of leadership. He also talked about social capital. I have my own personal question, Mr. Solomon, if you don't mind.
Okay, sir, please go on.
All right. So I have two questions, sir, but I'll start with the first one. You said that great leaders lead with contribution, not position. So at first I read it and it sounded great, but I had some thought and I wanted to ask question for clarification. So I want to ask, doesn't your position does your position speak to your level of contribution or how you can contribute? Like I am thinking, if effective leadership, is it not a function of the two or just one of them?
Okay, can I have the second question?
Okay, all right. Second question is on social capital.
Okay.
You mentioned that you used an instance of someone who was calling, pleading the name of Jesus for a door to open. But you instead suggested that there are some certain names of some human beings who are alive today that you would mention and the door would open without being like plead on the name of Jesus. It is true in the world we live in today. Someone's business card can actually open so many doors for people. But my question about that, sir, is I'm asking how effective it is to have a class society where opportunities, instead of being equal for everybody, is tied to some individuals. So as a leader, isn't the aim of our leadership to break those barriers that would make opportunities or public opportunities to be tied to us personally? So that's I can see some questions in chat.
Yeah, I'm also seeing those questions. In essence, what you are saying is that is it not possible for people to have equal leverage, that will not make someone to become so higher than other. I want to get it clearly. Is it possible
Okay.
that for people to have equal leverage? Is that what your question is summarized to be?
Sorry, sir. Maybe let me paraphrase. I mean, isn't one of the aim of leadership is to create an equal ground where everybody have fair opportunities to the things they need, rather
Okay,
than okay, yeah.
I understand it, and I think that was what I was asking. The
All
truth is that leadership will always help you to become a better person. That's the aim of leadership. But you see, there are always things that determine how or where people will be at a time. Now, one of it is that knowledge. Leadership can provide you with knowledge, that's fine. But action, that's why everybody must not be in the same place. Everybody must not achieve the same, everybody must not have equal opportunities because they are different. Someone like we are in this meeting, there are a lot of people here now. Everybody here is hearing different things. So, and that's how they will act. They will act differently. Now, everybody here is also hearing things that are going to change their lives, a lot of things, but there are people who will never act on them. There are people who will trash it. And for those people, there will not be equal opportunities with those who had and did. Okay, and at that point, someone has had something and then he has done it. It becomes higher than the person who also had it but did not do it. So there's also a need for this person who is now higher to help this person come up. That is why it's like that. I don't know if the question was answered.
No, okay, so I'm trying to organize what you said. Yeah, it was. You can move to the next question, sir.
Okay, remind me that your first question, please.
I asked, because you mentioned that great leaders lead with contribution and not position, and I was asking if effective
Now,
leadership.
okay, I understand it. I remember. Now, contribution can help you get to positions. With contributions, you can get to different positions and become more influential and become and contribute more. That's right. But there are people who are not contributing, but because they have resources, they will still get to that position. So now that's what differentiates people, because there's a difference between a leader and a politician. And the problem we have some of the times is that the people who are leaders, who understand the importance of contribution to the society and helping the people who they are supposed to be leading become better, the people who understand those things do not want to get into any form of politics because they feel like this is not safe, this is not right, this is a dirty game. And then they allow people who do not understand the concept of leadership and how to become effective in leading people to get into position, because those people are better politicians. So now, what do I advise? If you are contributing, then the Bible even says that when the righteous is in authority, the people rejoice. There is someone whose mic is on. There is someone whose mic is on. Okay, so what do I advise? That if you're a leader and then you have contributions, you are making contributions, then you must find the way of getting to the position. Some of the times, contribution does not really mean that will never bring you to the position. You're making contribution, but if you're not interested in the position, you will not get there. And people who are not contributing will get there because they are interested. So everybody pursues his interest, but one person can also have double interest. contributing and then getting to that position. And when you get to the position, you can now influence more. You can now, contribute more. I don't know if that is answered. I have a question here, and
Okay. Should I read it out for you, sir?
I think I can see them. The first one, it surprised me that this same question also came up in a leadership session I led on Saturday last week. So please, when a leader is not influential or loved by his follower, what should he do? Being loved by your follower, I don't know what you mean by what status of the leader, what the status of the leader is. Is he a leader because he's in position, or is a leader because now everybody has influence? I mean it, and that's how it is. That's what I believe, that everybody has influence. You have influence. So saying that you're not influential means you've not actually found or discovered your flavor. And I said that great leaders lead with their flavor. So you need to understand what do I have? What do I have that people need, that can attract people to me and make them want to come to me? And what solution can I offer? That is what makes you influential. That is, everybody has influence, but you have to build, just like when Dr. Tim was in Enugu, we were talking on radio, and then he was of the opinion that leaders are made and not born. So me, I was of the opinion that everybody is a leader. So we now had to harmonize it to come to a conclusion that, yeah, everybody may have some leadership influences in their lives. They may have some things that influences people, that helps other people to become better. But it's important that they intentionally develop it. So it's a matter of being intentional about your influence. As you're looking at me, as you're listening to me, you have influence, but you need to be intentional about developing that influence. And when you develop that influence, it's your flavor. And if your flavor is tasteless, people will not come to you, people will not love you. But when your flavor has taste, that's when people are attracted to you. Now, bear in mind that not everybody must love you. I told it to them on Saturday when that question came, so not everybody must love you. It's not necessary. Like, we have to draw a line between what is necessary and what is not. Not everybody. If you are loved by everyone, something is wrong with you. If everybody claps for you, you are in a mess. You are a chameleon. That's what my mom always says. Like you see red, you're red. You see blue, you're blue. You see white, you're white. No, there are people who will hate you unintentionally. Like, there is nothing you did to them, but because it is you, they don't want to do. And I don't pay attention to those people. There are people like, if it's Solomon that is speaking today, I will not come. There are people that will say, if it's, a lot of those things, and you don't need to pay attention to them. But ensure that you're not the one who is causing that. Because also, on the other hand, if everybody hates you, you are in a mess too. You are in a big problem if everybody hates you. So what do? You have to be intentional about building your influence. Find out what attracts people to you and develop it. Find out your flavor, find out what you have, find out who you are, and find out who you are, what you have, and start developing it. People are attracted to you when they see you're becoming a better person, you're developing, you're becoming successful. That's what people say, that success has many brothers. Yes, it has. So become successful. Start with personal leadership. Lead yourself effectively. Let people see that you are applying principles, you have values, and you have skills that are helping you become better. They will love you. People will love you. People will love you. I have a lot of things to share. Jesus Christ. Okay, Dr. Tim, your first question says, I love this, your second question though. Your first question saying, can you draw a line between pride and self-esteem? when someone raises a certain standard and it's perceived as arrogance or pride, how can one draw the thin line? The truth is that a lot of people hide under being courageous, being self-confident. Yeah, I know, Madabuchi. A lot of people hide under being courageous, being self-confident, and then they are so arrogant. It's true. But we also have to draw a line, because being self-confident is so different from being arrogant. But listen, when everybody is saying that you're arrogant, like there's a woman in my street here, everybody's complaining. The way she responds to people. Like the other time I was talking to somebody, I said that this woman is arrogant. I said, I know it very well. Like, this is how she is. That is not self-confidence, because self-confidence means that, yes, you know who you are and you have boundaries, and people cannot step on your toes and on your boundaries anyhow. But you're loving, but you have empathy, but you can communicate well. That's self-confidence, that's self-esteem. I know who I am a king, and I cannot be treated anyhow. That's fine. But when you are so talking to people anyhow, and you don't care because you feel like everything is okay for you, there's a problem. There's always two of them they look similar, but they are not. Self-esteem, low self-esteem is when you know that something you are supposed to be respected, and then because you feel like if you now start talking about how you should be treated, someone will now say you're being proud. No. Self-esteem is knowing that this is who I am and this is what is supposed to be done for me, and then and how to even communicate to people how to treat you is how you treat yourself. To communicate to people how to treat you, find out how you treat yourself. I don't know if that question was answered, Dr. Tim. Then, what is your perspective about the saying, fake it until you mean it, or fit in? I don't buy that idea. I really do not buy that idea. If you notice, I don't have a car. And most of the time, you've never seen me stand in somebody's car to snap and post online. There was a time early this year, we went to a program and somebody came with Lamborghini. Oh, Jesus. I said, this is my future. I am seeing my future. I said to my guy, come and snap me, come and snap me. I said, snap and send to me on WhatsApp. He sent, those pictures are still on my phone. I've not posted them. Okay, because I understand the fact that if I don't have it and I don't have it, what is the need for me to start putting people, making people see it as if I have it? Now, what it will even cause is that people will bill me. Anywhere you see I'm bill out. People will be billing me thinking I have what I don't have. I believe in living it until you become it. Live your life. Whatever you know that you want to become, whoever you know you want to become, whoever God has made you to, or you know where you're going to, start living. And living must not be to start, putting up, go to someone's building house that looks so mighty, so beautiful, and then you just snap and say, chilling in my dad's house. Your dad doesn't have a bicycle. He doesn't have a thatched house anyway. Then you now put one exclusive mansion. Family is everything. That is indicating that you are in your house. Family is everything. You're doing video in another man's house. There was a case of one blessing and Onyeze some time ago. A blessing on the internet. It went around the internet. Blessing was going to Onyeze's building, and she was snapping. She's a influencer, online influencer, snapping all the time. Yeah, my building in progress. As they were building the house, she was updating people that this is my house, and that we're getting to the rental level. And the man was abroad, so I don't know how he did it, and then they captured her and snapped her and showed the whole world again that this is fake. She was going to another man's house, and you know, that's what people do. I don't believe in it. If I don't have it, I don't have it. And some of the times, what I have, you cannot even determine what I have by what you see on social media, because most of the times, the things I do, like some of the things I do and some of the people I know, they are not on social media. So what's the essence? You cannot be faking it. If you keep faking it, you become a fake. Thank you so much. I don't think we will have time to take more questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Leave it till you become it. I'll be taking that to heart. Leave it till you become it. Thank you very much for everyone who has stayed with us till now. This was an amazing session. Thank you very much, Ambassador Solomon Okeke. Thank you for taking out your time and teaching us tonight, giving us what is it called? A shot at what to expect in your coming book. Thank you very much. I want to remind us that tomorrow we'll be having the fourth part of this 5-part series, and tomorrow we'll be joined by Mrs. Oyi Ezialo, and she would be talking about being the irresistible lady and suitable for the throne. So, ladies in the platform, I don't say in the building, ladies in the platform tonight, don't miss out tomorrow. Please do not. And then if you're here tonight with us and you have a lady, you should feel free to share the link to this to the person, because tomorrow is especially for ladies. How and what to do to be suitable for the throne, and how to become an irresistible lady. That is something I am so pumped up to see, because we live in a society that teach women so many things, and tomorrow I would love to see ladies being taught how to be suitable for the throne. That is it for today. I had a wonderful night tonight, learning a lot of things, and moderating this is an honor. Thank you very much, Mr. Solomon, for appreciating me during your time.
Thank you.
I'm so happy I could help. I mean, like, you and you don't do so much. It's only like a little. Thank you for everyone who joined us. Thank you to Mr. Tim. Thank you to Mr. Wilfred. Thank you to Mr. I can see Mr. Ebubechi. Thank you, the anonymous Solomon Okeke. I think you've left us. Thank you, Mr. Swart. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Miss Colette, thank you very much for being here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is where we'll call it a day. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, and see you tomorrow. We love you greatly.
Bye-bye.